Hey, we are in Puerto Vallarta for the Down Puerto Vallarta, and I'm with Tomas Slavik.
Hey guys, what's up?
Was the winner in 2017, and I won in 2018. And so we're gonna watch the track and share our point of view, different lines and different tips. And yeah, let's go. This is the start. Behind me, the ocean. So we start exactly right here where I am. I usually start in second gear. You pedal down the stairs and you start sprinting while you have to like jump that little step, and you keep on pedaling and you go towards where Tomas is. Let's go and check that.
So as you can see, it's still a little bit unstable, but the guys are still working on it, so it's gonna be fixed. This is the first start drop. It's a little bit smaller than the years before, but it's pretty tricky because afterwards it's pretty tight turn and really technical section, so you have to be really dialed in this place.
Good to go. Now comes the freeride part, so let's check it out.
Yeah, this part it's pretty steep. It wouldn't be anything special, but the surface here, it's complete undickery. It's like it just doesn't matter what tire you got. It's just not braking, not turning. You're a passenger here actually. So this is kind of a tricky part where you can really gain some speed, gain some time, or lose some time.
So behind me is the first dirt section, which is gonna be one of the trickiest one. It's really steep, super sandy. There is absolutely no grip, as you can see. Fortunately, there is that little bump right there where you can use the compression to slow down and set up for the left-hand corner right there, and then carry as much speed to go towards where Tomas is. So yeah, let's check the next section. We got a few meters to put a few pedal stroke, and then we hop off on that section where Tomas is.
Yeah, this is like a step on, step off section. You just step on here, you actually turning right and dropping down to the pavement, and then you keep going down for the big step up, which is in like 70-80 meters distance. So you need to carry a lot of speed there to clear it.
So behind me you got the drop. We're coming from that tree up there, and what I was doing last year, I was landing onto the pavement and I was jumping above that dirt right there as close as I can from the tree. Why? Because it's shorter distance, less rolling resistance onto the pavement. So basically you carry just more speed, and that sets you up perfectly for the next section. What wheel size is that?
It's my wheel size, 29er.
29er.
Yeah, my new wheels. So you have a step up here. There's two options. There's just a double or to make a triple. To make a triple, it's like, I would say 13 meters, 12 meters. So it's kind of a long distance, but there is a lot of speed on the straight before. So at the same time, you need to think about the next turn after it, because it's a really tight turn and another steep part after it on the anti-grip surface. So yeah, you need to pay attention there.
The common knowledge is to try to open your line, go outside so you can carry lots of speed, but this corner is really tricky. You can't really go outside, and you don't want to carry too much speed because the issue after is a braking section. So it's a tricky one. It's not your typical corner.
Where you go lower down, there's like a little drop and then a flat right turn where it's already more lines, and it's a really crucial place because then there is a long straight after it, and if you mess up this section, then you lose all the speed for the next straight. So actually you have the suspension for the urban race, but here you want to have suspension for a DH bike, really soft one to make the turn properly. So it's kind of a tricky part and tricky for the suspension or for the setup of the bicycle.
As Tomas talks about suspension setup, normally for urban downhill, the ground is usually pavement, so you want to run stiffer suspension. But Puerto Vallarta is a different race because there is a lot of dirt, so you basically want to have proper downhill setup, but at the same time you also want there's big impacts at the bottom, so you want your suspension to ramp up a lot, and it's actually pretty hard to set up the bike correctly.
Got it. No, I have the right suspension, right? Cool. Bye.
So one thing about Tomas Slavik, since I met him, I think he has the same flip-flops.
Yeah, the best shoes for a Crankworx, man.
Coming from that steep section, and naturally you want to go outside right here and then cut it side right here where Tomas is.
Yeah, I was always aiming for the inside line, but I never got there. It's just so slippery and so tight that I never got there.
And so right there is the outside line. It's actually pretty good because there is a little bit of support, so you can use that for your tires and put some compression on the bike to carry some speed afterwards. And right there, Tomas' favorite section, the sprint section.
It's not my favorite section. I'm just fast on these sections.
Show me your calves. So we have that pedaling section right there. Have to go hard on the brake, and then we have different lines, but we're probably gonna go where Tomas is, which is the inside and most direct line.
You probably cannot see that, but it's really steep part. Like if you want to really jump from here in there, it's gonna be like suicide. So we're probably gonna have to roll over this one and try to somehow make it through that section, because it's truly really steep.
The other line is pretty slower but safer. It's right there, just around that. We'll have to be careful to not knock a pedal. It's definitely easier but much slower.
Super steep, eh?
Really steep. So right there is the landing, and it's really narrow. You literally have like, the trail is like about 1 foot wide. We're gonna come down here, super loose ground, and then we got some stairs with a nice compression, and the next feature up there. The best line will be to stay on the left. We don't want to go on the dirt up there. The issue is that there is a wall right there, so it's gonna be like pretty tough with the bars. And now we come, it's not a jump, it's really just a transition to where Tomas is, with just a little drop, but it's super narrow, kind of like a little bit blind. So we used to come down those stairs, cut straight into the corner. Obviously the red rails weren't there, and the organization put a nice piece of wood so we could brake, control the speed, and basically come down corner and go back on the stairs.
So actually we just found out that this place is called Trash Garden, which is obviously right. And the years before we were landing where the big stone is, and we were turning to the left side. This year it's a big change. We're landing at the same place, and we're going higher up and pedaling a little bit up there to another new section. Actually the new part, like new 30% of the track.
So yeah, it sounds like Oli and his team are gonna build something just so we can carry a little bit more speed towards that little pass up there, just so we can have a little bit more flow, and I think it will be better for everyone. So Oli, you're building the track. What else are you doing?
Well, first of all, I said I was going to do 3 ways to fix a Mexican puncture, but now we're going to switch it up. We're going to do 3 ways to scrape dog shit out of a Mexican downhill track.
Let's go. Step 1. So right there, the goodie, we come up, we just have to sprint that. It's actually super uphill. Hopefully they're gonna remove this little part right there, and then onto the next section, which is like really narrow. Coming onto here, super close from that wall, straight onto Tomas. Definitely gonna be on the inside line right there, but the step is pretty high, and probably gonna put the front wheel where Tomas' feet is right now. Just open the line and carry some speed.
So after narrow straight, now we have like a little gap. We just think like it's gonna be the best option to jump it like a whole thing. It's gonna be tricky because after it's a really steep part as well. Again, there's some kind of like a metal rope there. It's pretty narrow, so this is exactly what is urban racing about. What is it?
Metal rope, tree, so it's pretty narrow, and straight into that wooden ramp, and then we have 2 drops back to back. Landing is a little bit sideways, so it's gonna be a tricky one as well. Up there's a gap we just talked about, hard on the brake, here outside on that ramp, and then the first gap, second gap right there.
The tricky part about these 2 drops is that you're entering those jumps going sideways like this, so it's gonna be pretty tricky, and I think the key is to choose the inside line.
So on my end, from that drop, I think I'm gonna come more towards the outside, and I'm actually gonna use the stair to just control my speed. Also, it should line me up better for the drop because I'm gonna scrub left. So that's our second drop right there. It's actually a nice and long landing. There's a good case pad, but I think we're gonna come really flying into that. So scrubbing speed is gonna be really important. You can't really overshoot, it's really flat behind, so you're gonna have to be careful.
So you're gonna be probably flying pretty fast in this section. It's a concrete with like kind of polished stones in it. It's not exactly the perfect surface to brake on, and then we're entering to really narrow off cane berm, so it's gonna be a pretty crucial place as well.
Tricky left-hand corner. It's gonna be pretty slippery here into a kind of a slower stair section.
We're getting to the first set of stairs on the track. It's kind of like 70 meters long stairs, pretty narrow with few turns, pretty nice place. So we used to have a wall right here, pretty long one, like 10 meters long. Now this time it's a flat turn of cane berm, but it used to be a flat turn and now it's a wall ride. The last straight with 3 big jumps. It's like 250 meters long. This is exactly the place for the big wheels and short travel bikes. Now is the question who's gonna choose DH bikes and enduro bikes, so this is the place.
As you can see behind me right now, it's just a straight line, but the team is gonna build some corner and some jumps, so we'll see what's up tomorrow.
This is the takeoff of the first jump. We have 3 same jumps, same takeoff, same landings, and this is pretty exciting place to watch, especially for the freestyle guys who are tricking here. It's a pretty cool place.
So behind me is the last jump, and yeah, as I was mentioning, like scrub is super important. Last year I was actually a bit slower than Pedro Ferra and Bernardo Cruz and Tomas on the first part of the track, but I was actually faster on the second part, even though there's some pedaling where I made up time was actually on the scrubs. So hopefully I can do the same this year, and yeah, let's see that on Sunday. Last jump right there, nice long landing. Finish line is gonna be right here, and an incredible view on the ocean. Thank you for watching. That was course walk of the Down Puerto Vallarta 2019. I'm with Tomas Slavik
And with Remy Metalier.
and keep an eye for some cool GoPro content this weekend. See you later.
Guys. Let's go fishing.
Let's go.
What's up? And we're here on Remy's vlog, and we're going to show you 3 ways to fix a puncture in Mexico.
That was way too good. As just a little bonus, Tomas Slavik was actually 5th of carp fishing in what year?
2017.
5th in the world at carp fishing in 2017.
With our team, not just me, our team.